Hello everyone, I'm Manny with Nikolai Design, and today we're going to be reviewing Gwyneth Paltrow's home. I actually don't know anything about her, but let's look her up really quick. Alright, so Gwyneth Paltrow is an American actress, businesswoman, and singer. I believe she was dating, or she was married to Chris Martin at some point, so that's the guy from Coldplay. And I initially thought that this was a lady married to Keith Urban, but that's someone else. They look like very similar. Anyways, we're gonna review her Architectural Digest home tour. I've seen this in a few places today, and I wanted to watch it with you guys before I actually watched it myself. Let's get into it. It's inside Gwyneth Paltrow's tranquil family home.
Hi, Dee. Welcome to our home.
Alright, her outfit, it's beautiful. Ooh, let's pause. The dining room. Wow. I love it. Okay, I think I'm gonna like this house. Oh my god, that's beautiful.
So this is the entryway here. We built this.
I think this is one of the better homes I've seen on
It's the
this.
first time I've ever
I
done
really
anything
love
like
this.
that. It was quite an undertaking. I think having spent so much time as an expat in Europe and really falling in love with Georgian proportion.
People who don't work in interior design or who have not worked with an interior designer before don't understand, or even like an architect, don't understand the amount of thought that goes into every space and just the way that it makes you feel, the way that you flow around it, every single little detail, the way that it functions. That's one, it's such a daunting task, but like when you're building a custom home like this, oh my god, it gets like, I can't even fathom the thought of building a custom home. It's just, doing rooms is like kind of stressful for me. I can't imagine like a whole house where you have to choose all the fixtures inside or out, all the design features. But anyways, let me stop rambling on. Let's get on with her house tour. Really quickly, I want to touch on, I love the wall trims. I love the trim on the wall. It's like wainscot. It's beautiful. I love how it's like very like almost like an organic Parisian feel to this.
Really nice
Really like it.
feeling of warmth and welcome as you come in. The tiles reminds me of, as I said, my time living in London, and just a detail that's classic and traditional. I really like the mix of having the things that are sort of systemic to the house.
I like how the entryway has that like checkered floor, which was very much a style or kind of like purported by the Kardashians 10 years ago, but it works very well in this space with like the more muted walls. There's not much going on, the woods. I love how she's European and she tries to include some of that like heritage in her home. What she's saying is very true. It feels very modern, but also very old world and like sophisticated. All of this weirdly works together.
This is one of my favorite little rooms of the house, the powder room. It's got all of this hand-done antiqued mirror and hand-painted wallpaper. It's got a reclaimed sink. It's got tons of different textures and metal finishes. It's really pretty. I love it. It makes me feel very grown up when I pee in here.
I'm a fan of like statement powder rooms. This is not my favorite, but it's done well. It's to her taste, which is what's important when you're working with a client. Yeah, let's move on. I don't have much to say about it. It looks good. I don't love it. Oh, this dining room.
So this is the dining room here. I enlisted my friend Bridget to help me furnish the house.
Wow.
She's been one of my best friends for 20 years, and I was trying to do it by myself.
I'm gonna pause
And
this, the wallpaper, like, stunning. That wallpaper is just, oof. The way that it like flows into the fireplace and the tones from the fireplace match it so perfectly. And just like the juxtaposition of like the almost like old timely like antique-ish wallpaper with these like modern fixtures in the middle with those chairs, like the sculpted chairs, and then the sculpted table with the rounded edges. Wow, this really works well.
I couldn't do it. But some of the things I had ordered before we started, like this.
Just like look at that table. The legs on the table are stunning. Those chairs, although they're not my favorite, they look amazing. I love how the floor matches like what's going on with the seats. It's kind of like it's You're bringing the darkness from the floor up into the actual
Beautiful
room.
table. This came from France, a beautiful furniture gallery called Colco's. And then Bridget found these really cool contemporary chairs. And this chandelier, which I can't decide if it looks like a grasshopper or lily pads or something. It's a little futuristic for me. Bridget and I don't want to say we fought, but
The light fixture is interesting. I think it's almost refreshing that it doesn't immediately call your attention, because really the showstopper in this room is one, the furniture, and two, that wallpaper. It's stunning. So the fact that the light fixture is a little bit more muted but also has some sort of like shape to it, I'm into it. I love how she mentions that her and her designer were going back and forth, and like her designer was pushing her towards something more out of her comfort zone, because I find myself doing that with customers, and sometimes it can be frustrating because they don't see like the full vision. You're just focusing on the one piece. But it's kind of like when you're working with like a painter or like cooking, right? What you care about is the end result and how everything looks together, not like in the middle where this one thing looks, because it's going to evolve so much over time that once the product is complete, everything just seems to work, you know? So I'm so glad that she brought that up, because sometimes I struggle with having to push a certain item on my client.
but I've grown to really love it. And again, we have a reclaimed fireplace here from Chateau de Ming, and then this wallpaper is so amazing. It's hand painted by these artists in Los Angeles. It's called...
Guys, I want you to notice how the tones in the wallpaper are also brought into the stone fireplace. This is what makes the fireplace and the wallpaper work so well together. Like that concrete showing, it has like a slight tinge of blue, where the wallpaper also has that blue tint. It works so well.
MJ Atelier, and they also made the powder room wallpaper.
Well, excuse me, it's not wallpaper, it's hand painted apparently.
Wallpapers and all kinds of different textures and colors. So I love that.
Well, so like, if it's hand painted wallpaper, it's a mural, and then it's probably not actually wallpaper. I'm so confused. Interesting.
I entertain a lot. I cook all the time. And I wanted it to feel,
Regardless, it's beautiful,
welcoming, but also that you could have like a formal dinner party. And I think it strikes the right
The
balance.
wallpaper gives the dining room a very whimsical feel, where the fixtures that they put in the furniture grounds it, makes it feel more modern and mature.
You can spill pasta and wine and it just wipes right off. So this is the kitchen. I love it so much, the heart of the home. This was designed by the architects who did the house, Roman and Williams. They're an amazing design firm in New York. And they did all of the architecture. And they had done my apartment in New York City, which I don't have anymore. They had done this kitchen there for me, which I lived in this kitchen. It was bright and airy and white, and it had a lot of these similar details like in the cabinetry. So I wanted to pull in some elements from the kitchen that they had done for us there, cabinetry being one, and also having the range be in the middle of the room, because I cook so much and I spent so much of my time facing the wall, and my kids would be in the room. So when it's like this, you have the opportunity to cook and chat with people.
You'll notice how she mentioned the functionality of having that range in the middle of the kitchen. Those are things that people don't usually think about when they're working with a designer or looking to hire someone. These are things that that person you hire is thinking about for you.
It's a luxury to be able to have a wood-burning fireplace in your kitchen. You know, it does take me back to my days living in the UK. I had 2 wood-burning fireplaces in the kitchen.
Okay, let's talk about the kitchen. It's like a very clean white kitchen. I think the lighting that's coming from outside is giving it kind of a teal hue, but it's definitely white, like she mentioned. I do like the artisan tiles that's a backsplash. I love the fact that there's a ladder that you can climb up to and get all the way to the top of the cabinets. I don't think I've ever seen that in a kitchen. I really love that. Really like how there's like bench seating for dining, where the dining room is right next to it. So I think that does kind of juxtapose and work really well, because one is like very formal, so like if you want to sit more for a longer period of time and not just sit down quickly and eat, then you have the dining room next door where you can use, where it has its seat backs. I really like that they thought that out. I also love that there's a fireplace in every single room. I love like this floating kind of design on the fireplace. I think it's beautiful. It's really, 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 really nice. I think fireplaces warm up every space that it's in. So I almost feel like you cannot overdo a fireplace, if that makes sense. I don't care too much for the plate on the walls, but again, that's a client's preference. Everyone has different tastes.
Usable and workable.
I
This
love
is something that
that.
I learned from
I
the woman that
love
I
the
bought my
rolling
house
ladder.
from in
I
Los
love
Angeles,
it.
Windsor Smith, another designer. I loved how in different rooms she completely changes floors, and I think it's such a nice way to offer a distinct personality
Look at
to
those
a room.
wheels on
And
the
so I'm
ladder.
not afraid of changing floors, as you'll see as we go through.
She mentioned something that's really interesting and unique. The designer that she worked with, or one of the designers she works with, changes floors in every room. For me, I think I like that. Why? Because every room that you walk into should be like a different feel, and like it's more fun that way, right? Like your living room should feel a certain way, your dining room. People almost like to purport this narrative where like your house should feel like it flows and it should all be the same color or very similar aesthetic. Yeah, that's cool, and it feels nice, but I almost think it's more fun when it's not the same and you're walking into like different, almost like themed rooms. I personally like that. Okay, the living room. Sorry guys, I'm kind of like, she kind of put me to sleep with that kitchen part. Okay, this little swinging bench in the living room, it almost looks like it's like for a sex dungeon or something. Interesting. Yeah, that swing is weird. I don't know how to feel about it. I think I'm also not like a big fan of like swings or hammocks because I get motion sick very easily, so maybe I'm just not the person to be commenting on this.
The lights. I'm friendly with Lindsay Adelman, who's an amazing lighting designer, as I'm sure you know. And I kind of just sent her drawings of the room, and I said, just do whatever. And so she came back with this insanely beautiful, this is, I think, from her Paradise collection. I think it's Paradise City.
Okay, I love how she reached out to a light designer and said, do whatever you want. It feels really nice when someone's like, I trust your work, do whatever you want. I'm not a fan of the light. I think it's like a lot. I don't know how I feel about like the cording going around. It's not for me. But it's definitely very artistic, and I love that she trusted this person with her vision.
And if there was a way that we could kind of take the idea but make it different and unique and also slightly more traditional to fit in with those more traditional elements of the house.
Yeah, I love that.
And so they drew this beautiful thing, and then Bridget and I went to the stone yard, and we were kind of like wandering around. We didn't know what material we were going to choose, and we were looking at some quartzes and some different marbles, and then we both came from different directions and like saw this and fell in love with it at the same time. I don't even know what kind of marble it is, but it's so pretty. I usually have some Japanese whiskey is usually my favorite thing to have. Unfortunately, I'm not drinking very much this year, so I'm having mostly seed lip cocktails, which is like mocktail or sparkling water. But when the time comes, I will heavily utilize her.
Okay, now she's talking about her couch. I don't know how I feel about the artwork, and I don't know how I feel about the couch. I feel like it doesn't feel homey at all. You know, maybe if we threw some cushions on there, it would feel inviting. I do love the accent chairs, and I do like that little crease there. It almost feels like it's meant for a lobby and not for someone's home, if that makes sense. I don't know, it feels cold. It's very like, I don't know, I don't like it.
Okay, this is kind of the most incredible thing of the house.
A sauna. Oh my
It's a
god,
bit of
this
a
is
spa
beautiful.
moment happening.
Yeah, understatement, bitch.
Understatement.
Look at the finish
You
on
know,
all this.
I'm into wellness, so I feel like it's justified, right? I mean,
Okay, I love the fact that they built this beautiful spa inside their home. The brass fixtures, so nice. The sauna, amazing. I really enjoy like saunas. It's one of my favorite things to do, and one of the reasons why I don't like going there, at least not in my hometown or like the gym that I attend, is because people go in there like with their shoes like fully closed. They go in with their headphones. I always learned that saunas were like a place to relax and just like lay back and go like pretty much just in a towel. So it's really weird when I see people in their shoes. I'm like, just like it doesn't sit right with me. And also people can be creepy like in the showers. So I think it's really cool that they have this.
these are beautiful. These are Roman and Williams designed these for Waterworks.
God, those
It's part
fixtures.
of their Atlas
Oof.
collection. And it's beautiful. It's like this kind of industrial design, and the unlacquered brass that we have as a theme kind of
So
running throughout the
nice.
house.
I love the
which
skylight coming in. I feel like natural light in a room, like any room, but especially a spa. Wow,
in here, I'm like, pinch me. I cannot believe
I
that
love it.
this is our house, so we live here. It's so fun.
So the unlacquered brass is gonna end up showing like a patina over time, which is very nice, and that's why like people like her purchase it, because it begins to show age, and a lot of people like their homes to feel lived in. It kind of gives you like
Well, AD,
like
thank
a little
you
bit of
so much
history.
for stopping by. It was a real pleasure to have you.
I love how she
And
shouts
I have to
out
make
like
some
the
meatballs.
people who design all the
So,
lighting
see
for
you
her. I feel like that's something that people don't realize that also takes a lot of time and energy and can cost a lot of money if you're buying like quality. All right, so we've concluded this. I'm gonna say that the only thing I really loved about the house was that dining room. I don't know that I've seen a dining room that I like as much as I loved this one. I I just think it works extremely well. It's very well thought out. The designer did an amazing job, as did Gwyneth, because she said she was a part of the design process. The entryway would have probably been my other favorite room. I'm not like over the moon with it, but I did like what they did with it. The spa was very nice. It's very spa-like, you know. Not most people don't have that in their homes. And the kitchen was just okay for me. Overall, it's a very beautiful home. It works for her. That's the most important part. And that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Follow me on my social media. It's nikolai.design on Instagram and on TikTok. If you liked this video or you didn't like it, let me know down below, please. Should I make more of these? Should I not? Anyways, thank you guys so much again. Please subscribe down below, like this video, and I'll see you on the next one.